me, bitch. And I am back.
Hmm. Let's see. I saw this. Yeah. GTO. Made in Abyss. Yeah. I mean, I heard about this, and it's pretty popular. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Rank 90. It's about some kids. This will be a fun little adventure, right? Mm-hmm. Uh, Violence, profanity. What the hell is this? And this is kids. How I got into therapy.
2 shots of vodka.
Welcome back everyone to the channel. We meet again, and today we will be discussing Made in Abyss. It will be split into two parts. So the first part will be kind of like a no spoiler, rundown of the anime itself, and then the second part will be the judging. Spoiler. It will contain spoilers, and it will be kind of like after watching the anime itself, right? So sit tight, relax, and let's get into it. So Made in Abyss, I am guilty of not watching the anime sooner. I know it's from 2017, and it's a pretty big hit. And I believe there is also another part or like a series of movies coming next year as well. But oh wow, I mean, first time I was like, I mean, this is just kids and it's gonna be boring and stuff like this. What an anime, I must say. Like, it was an absolute ride, and I'm definitely not the only one who had the same experience as I had in the intro, looking for the anime and then actually finishing in therapy after finishing the anime. So I mean, that was pretty crazy. So so let's dive into the synopsis of the anime itself. So the story is set in the city of Ort, which is basically a city around this huge circle, which is called the Abyss, and it follows Rico and Rek, who are the main characters of the story, and we basically follow them through their adventure going to the abyss. This town is basically full of people who are called delvers, and these delvers go into the abyss. They search for artifacts, they search for things that are in the abyss, and then they sell these artifacts to make money. Rico is part of an orphanage in the city of Orth with other kids as well, and these kids go into this abyss. They basically delve into the abyss and they search for artifacts, and then they sell those artifacts to make the money. And with this money, they basically get the money for the orphanage where they live. And so the story begins with Rico searching for some artifacts. There is an encounter. She wants to save a kid. There is a monster. The monster attacks Rico, and then there is a huge laser. There is Reg, and basically Reg is a boy who is then found by Rico, and Rico takes him back to the orphanage. Pretty simple. So let's get a couple of things straight. So first, Reg is not really, I mean, is and is not kind of like a human child. I mean, it is something in between. He has these mechanical arms, this helmet, something on his neck, and they kind of, they're kind of surprised of his like stature, and but he still has some features that kids have. And what happens basically is Rico wants to go, dive into the abyss because her mom is a very, successful and very well known delver who is a white whistle. We'll get to that in a moment. And basically, she wants to go to see her mom. She wants to, dive into the abyss and go search for her. Now, one thing we need to get, out of the way is very important, and there are two very important explanations. So, first explanation we need to kind of, discuss is the ranks of the delvers, because these delvers have different ranks, right? So we have bells. Bells are basically just novice delvers, like usually kids who don't even go into the abyss. They are kind of just learning. Then we have red whistles. Red whistles are all the kids that already have some slight experience and they can go into the first layer of the abyss. They can explore things and search for artifacts. Rico is, for example, a red whistle. Then we have blue whistles. And blue whistles are more experienced delvers who already have some, experience. They can go even into the second layer, and they are already a bit experienced. Then we have purple whistles. There is, I think, only, maybe there are more, but I believe the main, purple whistle is the instructor at the orphanage, who is an apprentice of Rico's mom, Eliza, and he teaches the kids at the orphanage. And purple whistles can also teach other people how to become delvers, and they have a lot of experience. They can usually go until the third layer. Then we have black whistles, and black whistles are very experienced delvers who have a lot of years of experience. They survived a lot of things. They are very strong. They have some features, something that makes them like very very strong, and it's kind of like the, let's say, highest attainable rank that you can get as a delver. Then like regular, of those regular ranks. Then we have white whistles, and usually white whistles are always like legendary delvers who are very well known through the community. If you say their name, everybody knows them. If they don't want to stay, let's say, hidden. But Rico's mom was a white whistle, and these white whistles are, they did exceptional discoveries for humanity, for with the artifacts, with the abyss itself. So they are very, very well known, and so white whistles are like legendary delvers. And so Rico's mom, as mentioned, is a white whistle. She went for her, let's say, call it last dive, and she basically went to the abyss, and she disappeared. And Rico wants to go search for her. Normal thing. Kids wants to go search for her mom into the abyss. Everybody's like, no, Rico, don't go, please. And she's like, no, I must go see my mom. And then I found, a random boy Reg, and we can go together. So the story is pretty, simplistic at the beginning. Now, that's kind of the first phase, and so we talked about the ranks and the whistles. Now let's talk about the second very important concept in this anime, which is very, very important and plays a crucial role. So the second thing is basically the Curse of the Abyss. The Curse of the Abyss is a curse, logically. And so the Curse of Abyss basically is, let's say, it's a strain on the people who ascend from the abyss to the surface. And so there are different levels of this curse, and depending on the layer where you are going, let's say, to the surface. So I believe we have like 6 layers. There are maybe even more, not a lot, after the 6th layer is documented. So maybe we'll see more in the story. And so based on each layer, you have a different types of curse of strains that you get hit by. And reminder, this is very important to the story itself. So the first layer is just like nausea, maybe a bit of vomiting. Second layer is even a stronger nausea, even more vomiting, and it's like kind of like a heavier version of the first layer. And then third layer, you basically get the strength from the other levels, and you also have some kind of like vertigo and visual and auditory like hallucinations. Then fourth layer is intense pain through the body and bleeding from every orifice. And fifth layer is basically complete like sensory deprivation, confusion, and self-harming behavior. And sixth layer is loss of humanity or death. The artwork is absolutely awesome. I think the music is great. I think the whole environment, like all the visuals are absolutely stunning. So I think this is perfect. So I think the anime is awesome. There is also another part to the anime which we didn't expect, and me neither when I was searching for it, is the gore part of the anime. So the anime really doesn't have gloves, on the storytelling and on the events. So it's 2 kids, going to the adventure, and then randomly she starts, like maybe having nausea or vomiting, or maybe she starts bleeding everywhere. So this, and from the strains of the abyss, right? So without going into further details, this is something you need to keep in mind. It's not for the lighthearted, and there are some arcs inside the anime, in the later parts, where it will be challenging a lot your morals, right? Because it gets pretty dark, and usually, it gets pretty dark. So you need to keep this in mind, and really sometimes it's really from this anime straight to therapy.
2 shots of vodka.
That's it for the light, let's say, review and kind of the rundown of the anime itself. Now we'll move to the and my little color of beauty. Color of beauty. Like this. Oh, like this. So welcome back again. Now to the spoiler part of this review and of this discussion, let's say. So yeah, so let's get, you know, the elephant in the room. So I think the best part of the whole anime, I think, is by far is the Bondru arc. I think Bondru is a great example of a kind of like a villain. I mean, I would call it villain, but you cannot really call him a villain, right? Because I mean, he did it for the science. You need to keep in mind that everything they do in the Abyss is for the humanity and like the evolution of humanity. So he's kind of exploring the gray parts of the of the science. And I mean, the part where Mitty and where Nanachi went down the elevator to the 6th floor, it was pretty crazy. Like that was something I was sitting there like, God damn. And you know, after watching that episode, I was just, you know, sitting and I was just like thinking like, what the fuck did I just watch? So I hope I'm not the only one. I think that was pretty crazy. So Bondru arc was absolutely the GOAT. I think that was the best. You know, with Prushka, you know, changing into the basically White Whistle for Rico. And I also like the Golden City. I think that was pretty cool. The beginning was a bit weird, you know, with all the monsters and stuff like this. But once we got to the backstory of the monsters, I think it got pretty dark, you know, from one moment to another when, you know, they got infected by the water and stuff like this, and then they started eating like the eggs or whatever that was. That got pretty crazy. So I think like something broke in me during, you know, watching the anime. And but nevertheless, I still liked the whole anime, and I'm super excited for the sequel. I think it was well written, and whenever I think that the author cooked, he actually shows, you know, that he can cook even more.
Yeah, boy.
So I think he's the GOAT. I think the whole Golden City was awesome. Faputa was kind of like, I don't know, it was good, but then it kind of got, I don't know, I got annoyed by Faputa a lot. So while I like the story, I like the plot and everything, the whole character of Faputa was kind of like, I don't know. So yeah, and I will definitely, let me get my hammer. So I will definitely judge Made in Abyss as passing, because I think it's crazy good. I think some arcs are absolutely like crazy. It's really a mindfuck, I would say. Like you go into this adventure, you know, with kids, and you come out, you know, like absolutely, you know, your brain gets fried. So for me, it was an adventure of my morale. So if you want to see an anime review or maybe, you know, anime discussion, please write it in the comments. Let me know. I would very kindly have maybe some recommendations, and then we can maybe make a video out of it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for, you know, staying, and I will see you in the next one.